journaling time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people! What is up?
Sorry, lots of technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had some, we're trying to have better audio for our YouTube fam out there. We hear they like good audio. So, in an effort to bring you good audio, we didn't bring you nothing. It took a few minutes and I got kicked out. It was crazy. Technology is crazy, but I see we've already got an active chat in here, so that makes me happy. What's up, party people? Let us know who's in the house.
You know who I look like right now is Anna Gasteyer from SNL. That one sketch where they, I forgot what it's, where they talk.
NPR?
Yes. Yeah,
Mm.
they talk like this.
There's they did a Family Guy spoof of something similar, and he's like, now I'm going to have a graham cracker right up into the mic. This is the sound of me eating a graham cracker.
Yes.
All right. Well, Geeky Witch in the house.
Hi, everyone.
Surrey Cat in the house. Looking at my devices lighting up here. No party like a journal party. That's right.
What's up?
Good. I'm glad in our absence, you guys found a way to commune. Good stuff. Yeah, Surrey Cat looking out. The new app definitely does direct to YouTube. Trying to consolidate the audience a little bit. And also, if you haven't noticed, we've got a new round-the-clock stream going on. So anytime you feel like journaling with your fellow party people, you can go through the app or just go to YouTube on our YouTube channel, and you'll see we've got all sorts of fun lo-fi tracks, and it will always have a live chat. So if you ever want to just hang out with your fellow party people, that is now a thing. So check it out. And we're hoping it helps us grow the party a little bit. Stacy's never been here before. How does it work? All right. Well, Surrey Cat's got you. Get a piece of paper, digital note-taking app. Listen to the prompts as they start, and right away, perfection is not needed. Just show up. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm gonna have to take notes on brevity from you. I have a funny way of making that explanation last about 5 minutes. So appreciate you looking out for us there. But yeah, it's pretty simple. So every week we pick one of our programs and we go through it together. My wife and I here, girl Alex, if you haven't met her before, I'm boy Alex. We will read the prompts and journal along with you, and then at the very end we just hang out and share our insights, share our collective wisdom. And so far so good. I think it's working for me. I feel better after every one of these. So selfishly, if that's all it is, I'm gonna still do it. Stacy says, awesome. So I didn't do anything wrong. They didn't start you. No. Okay. Yeah. So that is our fault. Geeky Witch looking out for us. I'm just catching up here, guys. I can't believe
thank you.
how much has gone on. You guys looking out. I appreciate it.
That sounds lovely, Gabby.
Gabby's in the chair. Nice. All right, cool. Well, I mentioned we do this every Wednesday night, and it's part of the routine. And that's what this evening is about. We've got a program for you that is all about examining the routines in our lives and the rhythms that we find ourselves in. And, a conscious routine can be really, really powerful. On the other hand, sometimes we slip into routines that aren't so conscious. And, programs like these can help us to take a look at what we're actually doing and decide if it's serving us, if it's something that we want to continue with. I was thinking of my dog when I did this, because no one in our family relies on the routine more than our dear Frenchie. He keeps me honest. He holds me to it. Make sure I get up early every day, feed him, and he's got his own version of it. And it's crazy. Like when we deviate from that routine, it really throws him off. And I'm kind of the same way. We just spent some time a little south down in San Diego, and while it was an amazingly good time, I mean, just being kind of out of my routine was enough to throw me for a little bit of a loop. And at the same time, we were there long enough that I found myself like adopting a new routine. And so now that we're back, I'm like trying to find my way around it. And so that's why I put together this evening's program, just because I think that it's worth checking in now and then and taking a look at the things that show up regularly in your daily rhythms. And these things that tend to become autopilot kind of tend to become us in our lives, right? So whether you're present for that or not, those routines and those automations are kind of running in the foreground and the background, and they produce this life that we're living in. So hope you find it useful to take a closer look, and also hopefully we can all make the decision to be a little bit more conscious and a little bit more present, because at least as far as we can confirm, you only get one of these lives, right? And so what a shame to get to the end of it and realize you weren't even there. But that's not what this evening's necessarily about. We're just going to take a look at some of those habits, those routines. We got 5 prompts coming to you this evening. We're going to do 4 minutes per prompt for a total of 20 minutes of guided journaling bliss. And then at the very end, like I said, we will all hang out and commune, be party people, maybe even party animals. So, Alex, wife Alex, I should call you. You should graduate from girl Alex to now you are wife Alex or woman Alex. I mean, girl Alex is just, it sounds
I just
cuter.
prefer it. Yeah, it just sounds cuter.
All right.
But
Odds or evens?
I will start us off. So I will do odds.
Beautiful. All right. Sounds good. All right, chat. Let me make sure there's nothing pressing. Hopefully the audio's good. Hopefully you can hear the music and everything like that. But I think it's time to get this party started. So I'm going to hit the little button. Take it away, girl Alex.
Okay. Morning transitions. Think of the moments between waking up and starting your obligations. How does this sequence of actions prepare your mind for the day? Describe the physical sensations and the internal dialogue you usually experience during this time.
Next prompt, the midday pivot. Recall how you typically handle the middle of your day when tasks begin to stack up. What do you feel in your body as you move from one thing to the next? Consider whether this pace feels like a conscious choice or a reaction to external pressure.
Habitual comforts. Imagine a specific routine you turn to when you need to feel grounded or safe. Why does this particular set of actions bring you comfort, and what thoughts usually surface when you are in the middle of it?
Social rhythms. Reflect on how you typically interact with the people around you throughout a standard day. How do your habitual ways of communicating affect your energy levels by the evening? Explore the feelings that arise when you think about these recurring patterns.
The closing arc. Think about the final hour before you sleep and the routine you follow to wind down. Does this sequence allow your mind to truly rest, or does it keep you tethered to the day's events? Describe the transition from doing to being as it feels to you right now.
Yay!
Good job, everyone.
We got the elephant today. That's
Yeah.
all right. We'll take it. All right. How'd you do, girl, Alex?
Well, to be honest, I disliked having to examine my routines because my routines aren't always the healthiest and they don't always make me feel the best when I wake up and when I go to bed at night. But you know, again, it's important to examine these things, especially the uncomfortable ones. So, you know, I think something that I've wanted to work on and have yet to do is, you know, starting off my day with some doom scrolling. I can't lie and say that, you know, I start the day in a healthy manner. I just go straight to social media and, you know,
and you don't
I
ever
follow-
end it that way either, do you?
Oh, no, exactly. No. Yes, I do. Of course I do. And so it's just, you know, am I rising, you know, properly? Am I going to, no, I'm not. I'm really not. So, you know, I think this was a little bit of a wake up call where I'm like, you know what, I really should, you know, try to incorporate some healthier habits. But yeah, you know, starting off my day, I follow a lot of news organizations online too. So, you know, depending on what the headline news is, that's my entire feed. It's not just like cute puppy dogs and stuff. It's just like, here's what's going wrong in the world and here's what you need to be outraged about. And of course, I'm an empath, so every little thing, you know, does affect me. So, you know, that again was an uncomfortable truth I've had to recognize.
What do you think,
and-
like, the ideal version of, like, your morning routine would be? I mean, because it's certainly not destructive, like, every day, right? There's gotta have been days,
No.
like, when you're nailing it, like, what does that look like? And how can you get more of that?
I think, you know, where if I have something, you know, first thing in the morning planned, then I just kind of get straight to it. I don't really have time, you know, so I think maybe scheduling more, you know, early morning things would be helpful because it just like forces me to get up, get ready for it and be on my way.
You like to just spring into action then?
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. I just kind of want to like get it started right away and it doesn't give me the time and the room to sit around and doom scroll. You know, and it's funny, you know, in terms of the communication throughout the day, you know, you and I are both at home and you work out in your office, which is kind of a separate space.
I don't work out in my office.
You don't work out in your office. You work inside your office that is located
Sometimes I do some
right.
push-ups. That's not really
Yeah.
working, though.
But it's just funny, you know, I know like, you know, the second you walk through the door, I'm like, Alex, like, hey, listen, I have this idea. Even today, I was like, get in here, sit down, listen to this. So I make you listen to every little thing I'm working on and say, you know, and you're just stopping in to use the restroom or grab a cup of coffee, but I will interrupt your day just because you're there and it's a nice moment to connect. But I think I also need to work on perhaps letting you just do your thing and only every once in a while stopping you and harassing you about God knows what. But yeah, my favorite thing to do, I think, throughout the day when I am feeling, a little overwhelmed. And what I do to feel grounded and safe is to snuggle with our dog. And the best part is, he doesn't fight it. He doesn't talk back. He just lets me just kind of, smother him with hugs and kisses and put all of my good and bad energy. I just kind of, funnel it into this poor little guy who is the sweetest, best friend in the world, and just allows me to, really just kind of sink into him. But, he is for sure my safest space. And of course, you are too at times. But with Bowie right there, sometimes it's just like, again, he's not going to say anything. He's not going to fight it. He doesn't have to get back to work.
Not only is he not going to fight it, he
loves it. Yes.
It's his routine too. And he gets really bent out of shape when you break that, I noticed.
I know, for sure. Yeah. If there's times where I'm like, we're not snuggling right now, he gets upset and he'll run over to the couch and be like, excuse me, like this is what we do now. So yeah, it was a very eye-opening, session this evening. So, what about yourself?
Well, so, my routines are pretty locked in for the most part. As I mentioned before we started, when life shows up and changes things, I have a little bit of instability, like trying to stabilize and form new routines and things like that, because I really, really do rely on them. And, my morning routine is like sacred for me. And it's changed over time, and there's certain pieces that like I will swap in and out depending on whatever I'm doing and going through. But as I was kind of writing and examining that a little bit, I don't know that I should necessarily do that, because like I'll make up, in my head, like, oh, I've got to get this new feature into the app, or there's this bug and I need to crush that. And instead of doing something that's healthy, like meditate, pray or journal or walk, that used to be huge for my morning routine, was like the exercise part in the morning. And I do find that I'm a little too willing to trade that for what I perceive will be, a leg up, or like an insurance that I will accomplish something, or get whatever, get through whatever I'm seeing as like the change. So that's kind of like an interesting thing, is like, how do your routines change when in the face of change? Because it's, I mean, like, journal parties and I feel for anybody who's doing anything entrepreneurial, because it one of the things like I really would love is if it was a little bit more routine. I mean, Journal Party Live's great because it's every week, and like the workflow for that is kind of dialed in. But with stuff that you're like trying out or creating and stuff like that, I guess the demands of that are always in flux. And I do find that I'm maybe a little bit too willing to give up some of the things that really serve me in the mornings. And even throughout the day, as far as routine goes. But lately I've got a new addition to my morning routine, which I've really, really, I really love it. So, as I just turned 40, and as I get older, like one of the things that kind of freaks me out and makes me really scared is like if I were to somehow like have cognitive decline. And that's like a real thing that happens as you get older, And so I've been on the lookout for that, and it like really freaks me out when I, like, let's say I'm in a meeting and I want to articulate something, and I know that like me 10 years ago would have like whoosh, like explained it perfectly. And I know the words are in there, the word bank is there, and like the knowledge is there. But when I can't like connect the dots in the way that, like, if I've had that happen a few times, more than I would like to admit lately. And so I was like, I got to do something that like, add something to the routine that like keeps me primed and hedges against that. And so I've been doing like little word puzzles and stuff in the mornings. And it helps me wake up. And also I find that it's been a really great replacement for the doom scrolling thing, because I do that too. And whether it's like checking your emails and whoever, wants something from you that day, or, scrolling through the feeds and seeing, whatever has been tweeted that, whatever madness has been initiated for the day. Instead it's like, ooh, Wordle. And, it's just enough time. And then the other one that I've added to the routine in a similar effort or initiative is Duolingo. So I've got like a mean streak on Duolingo going. I'm really jealous. My younger brother's got like 10x the days and streak. He must be fluent in Spanish by now. I don't know. We don't talk enough in Spanish, I guess. But that's been also really good. And I find that it's interesting because it's part of the routine, but it's also like been introduced as like something that's not part of the routine. And I find that like kind of refreshes my energy and my willingness and ability even to just get shit done. Which that is like the good part. The bad part is that I haven't been doing my exercise and stuff like that. And so, watch now. My cognitive abilities will be great, but I'm gonna be old, fat, and in pain, which is currently the state. I don't know if, I'm doing okay. I'm in pain though. I'm in a little bit of pain, that stuff. So, I need to take a little bit better care of my body. I think I need to work that into the routine. And another interesting thing that I noticed engaging with these prompts is I actually, I was sort of struggling with the one where it's like the midday prompt and how do you deal with stuff as it starts to like accumulate in the day. And actually I'm so crazy in the mornings about like planning my day that it's usually by midday that I'm actually like through most of what I wanted to do. And I really, really love that part of the routine, because then it's like that. It's like a blank journal page. It's a blank slate sort of. And that's where I can kind of like, all right, let's like experiment and let's do stuff. But I did notice that, like what it really stresses me out when I get to that point and I'm pulled in different directions that I wasn't expecting. And so I don't know. I have to think about how I want to, whether I want to like protect that space, or if like I need to just be a little bit more flexible, knowing that like, hey, you've already like drilled through most of your to-do list. Like, how about you help your wife take down pictures or whatever she wants? I don't know. What happens in practice though is everything that comes up that I wasn't anticipating kind of, I almost look at it as like the enemy because of how I orient, I'm like mission oriented through like my tasks and stuff. And so like, it's just like, if I didn't decide it, I'm fighting it. And so I don't know. I need to chill out a little bit and kind of like, I don't know. So a lot of this was like, changing the pace and kind of like just deciding like, all right, I mean, hey, how easy was it for me to add Duolingo and Wordle? Those are paying off. So it's like, all right, I mean, let's throw the walks back in, let's see how that feels, or some stretches and stuff like that. So yeah, good stuff. I'm eager to see what our party people had to say.
Absolutely.
Got some stuff in here. I was laughing at this. Melissa was saying who had her feeling attacked. This was also really funny. Please don't make me people anymore. Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting thing too, right? Like when your routine, I don't know. I feel like on one hand, like routines help you get through stuff, but like maybe like the actual secret of it is like falling in love with your routine, so you don't feel like you're just getting through stuff or like it's draining you. And I mean, yeah, like I think by the end of the day, I'm like done. I can't even think. And I mean, fortunately, I think my wind down routine's pretty good in that like okay, like I'm so done with the day that like I'm not trying to I'm over like trying to engage with stuff. And also that's another one where the dog really helps. Like he will drag my ass to bed.
I know he demands bedtime, so kind of keeps you in line.
He's the boss. It's funny. He's like the chief of staff in our house, just making sure. Suri says, removing social media from my phone was the best thing ever. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's so addicting. And it feels like if you don't engage with it, like, I don't know, something awful could happen and you wouldn't know or something. I don't know. It's, we've done a number on ourselves with the social media for sure.
Absolutely.
Melissa said, I removed Threads earlier this week and I'm going through doom scroll withdrawal.
That's got to be a real thing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well,
good for you. Good for,
like,
honestly, any effort to distance yourself from social media. Good for everyone, honestly.
Well, I mean, and think about it. I mean, it's probably like trained us to be on edge and like hyper vigilant in certain ways that like, I don't know, or, well, I mean, I was going to say, I don't know if it's natural, but like, think about like when we were cavemen, like you had to be hyper vigilant or you get like eaten, right? But it's like we've taken those same mechanisms and like just needed to replace, like, instead of like just being like, oh, like we built society and like it's all good, like now we don't have to worry about getting eaten. We're like let's go find some stuff to be scared and upset about, like, so that
constantly. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gabby says, there are days I stick to routines and make a list of what to do and reminders to actually stay busy. Or for me, I am easily distracted because of my disability. End of the day, I relax. Yeah, well, I mean, it's good. It's good to know yourself too, though. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, we've all got different strengths and, you know, challenges that we have to manage and deal with. And, you know, like adjusting your routine to accommodate that is super smart. So, you know, hopefully that's paying off. And I mean, if you're not having trouble relaxing at the end of the day, I think that's actually like a really good sign. You know, if you're carrying that background stress and you're not able to like give yourself that rest, then I could see that as being problematic. Fortunately, I'm just so spent myself by like the end of the day. You know, I think like cerebrally, I'm like wanting to continue doing stuff, but like at this point I've just like learned like it's just do it tomorrow when you're up and at 'em, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Kathy said, I hit the ground running as soon as my alarm goes off. Bathroom run, getting my Forever Baby's clothes out, her lunch packed, brewing my coffee, and then waking her up, getting her on the bus and going to appointments, workshops, housework. Wow, I mean, it sounds like you're action packed there. And it sounds like you're like girl Alex here. You like to launch into it. Alex, I'm surprised you don't make like coffee more of like a ritual thing for you. Like with how much like if when we go on vacation, like if Alex doesn't get her Starbucks, like it's over. Like I have to acknowledge that like when girl Alex gets her coffee and it, you know, when you do, like you're finally you know, doing your thing or whatever. But, like, you seem to love that, so I'm so surprised that you don't like try, like, I mean, and you're not like an anxious. Well, you can be anxious, but like you're not like
yes.
You're not like an aggressive personality by any means. So it's
kind of an internal panic that is kind of always simmering under the surface. I try not to, you know, make it, you know, drag everyone around me into it. But yeah.
Well, you're also just not a morning person. Like you're a night owl.
Not. I am very much a night owl, and I have been my whole life. And, you know, I wish I was ready to make that transition, but I'm not. If I'm being honest with myself. And, you know, it's interesting. My mom and dad and my sister, we're all alike in that way. So it became very normalized to kind of operate at different hours and a little bit differently, you know. So, but it is something that, of course, you know, when I when I wake up exhausted or, feeling sleepy throughout the day, it's like, okay, yeah, I need to work on this. And especially as I get older and 40 is around the corner, it's something that I'm going to need to really work on. So, I'm just trying to take advantage of these last, months and year of being, a youngster in my 30s. And then by 40, I really need to make a conscious effort just because,
you think when you turn 40, you're just going to be like,
oh yeah, I'm just going to wake up and magically be a different person, and all my bad habits are going to go out the door, and I'm just going to be, I'm going to be such a good adult, and my routine's going to be perfect, and that's just the way it's going to work out for me.
I'm thinking about how it shows up in my world, like, because I do love being in action, especially during the day, and that said, it's interesting how like I've sort of made this my morning routine, like that Zen aspect of it, pre all the activity, like almost a non-negotiable for the most part. Otherwise, there is times where I have to do it, but I don't love that, because like, you know what it is, it's that sense of being rushed or hurried. And I just love being able to like, all right, let me set the tone and like try to get through it. Like, I know I got a lot of, like I know that I'm going to put enough pressure on myself that like, I don't need any like external pressure or time stuff going on. So that's where it's been helpful in my stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're a little different because you're more in terms of like, I feel like your days show up with like appointments and places you got to go and do things and stuff. Mine's very much like, all right, dog, coffee, writing, meditation, all that. And then like, all right, I'm going to sit in this desk and make stuff happen. So it's like, I guess it's easier once I'm, because I'm stationary a little bit, but let's see. We got, Suri says, way to go, Melissa. Removing social media is such a freeing experience. Gabby said, Wednesday journal party is routine for me. So looking forward to new prompts. Heck nice. Yeah, Gabby. Yeah, it's routine for us too. I mean,
I thought today was Tuesday until you reminded me at around 5 o'clock. I was like, oh,
well, but that's because our own routine was thrown off, and
yes,
we
exactly.
got back into town yesterday, so it felt like Sunday yesterday, kind of.
Exactly.
Put the mulligan on it. But
it does throw you off. So it is nice to kind of be back in.
Alex came home. She's like, "Why did you shower?" Like,
I know. I said, and you were wearing cologne too, and I was like, "Where are you going? Like, what are you doing?"
I'm like, I'm trying to. Don't you know we have to present?
I had no idea.
Kathy says, midday I have to remember to eat and stretch my back since most of my workshops are virtual. If mostly out the house, my body is in pain and exhausted. Yeah, I've got. I think I might have just added a new thing to my routine similar to that. I was diagnosed with a little bit of arthritis in my neck, and it's causing all sorts of pain and stuff, especially when I sit or when I lean forward and crane my neck when I'm doing my work and stuff. And but I've got this really cool like massage pillow thing for it, and apparently it's supposed to fix what I got. And I already had it, so I'm like, all right, I need to like do this because people are swearing by it. So actually today I did carve out a little time. It was like, all right, after lunch, lay down, do my little neck massage thing, pop some Advil. Now I'm out of pain, but I feel it. I feel it, and feel for anybody out there going through the aches and pains of life. It's not fun, but I think a lot of them show up because of our routines, and if you're not paying attention, they can spin out or turn into something that you don't want. But the flip side of that, right, is there's routines that can improve it, make it better. Melissa said, same. When I missed the other week, I felt a bit off kilter. I'm trying to get better about starting my morning with writing, not just journaling, but some other type of writing as well. Yeah, that's cool.
Good for you, yeah.
I mean, the mornings are so great because, you know, I think that's when you've got like, you know, all of the creativity you're going to have in the day. Like, I don't, at least for me, like creativity doesn't like show up later. Like, I feel like I've got like a tank and it just, you know, it starts to reduce. But I do find, you know, doing the morning pages helps prime my creativity. And, you know, so usually I like to do my morning pages, and that's when I start, you know, making cool little things on the site and the app and stuff like that. It's because it's like, oh, I get these ideas, as you know, it takes me getting rid of all like the excess stuff, you know, the head garbage stuff, and then I think, you know, that's when like the creativity does show up. And, you know, I mean, for me, my creativity is a little bit different. I wouldn't, you know, even though I journal every day, I wouldn't consider myself a writer, but I know you do. So like, yeah, I mean, look, I've seen you making moves with, you know, the streaming stuff and all that. So it's there for you if you want it. All this stuff is
worth a shot for sure.
Yeah, go for it. Kathy said, I'm on Duolingo too. I'm on 1,618 day streak. Kathy,
that's incredible.
Heck yeah.
You're gonna make Alex so jealous.
I'm so jealous.
But that's incredible. Good for you. I mean, look at you guys, like sticking to these things. That's incredible.
It's fun, and I like the little characters. I'll be honest, I kind of got the idea of like the journal party animals from the Duolingo characters. I was like, it's so great to have little characters that like you want to see and like that help you out and stuff. So
it does. Like, it makes things a little more joyful, a little more whimsy.
Whimsy. There you go.
Yes, whimsy is a word I am into these days.
Kathy's not fluent in Spanish yet, but broken Spanish with neighbors is improving. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I feel like I've taken like some version of Spanish 1 or 2, like since I was
my whole life,
my entire life.
Yeah.
But I will say that, you know, just having it be something that I'm engaging with on the daily, like, yeah, I'm definitely far from fluent, but I mean, we live in Los Angeles. There is no shortage of, you know, the Spanish language to engage with out here. Mm-hmm. And I do notice that like, oh, like that little commercial comes on the radio, I know what they're talking about, kind of, you know, and it's just the little things where I don't know, it all sort of makes sense, and it makes me want to keep going with it. So yeah, I do love how, you know, stuff like that, it's like progressive in nature. I feel like that's also like a big a secret, at least for me, to be able to like find enjoyment in things is you know, I'm such a control freak, and there's so much you can't control in your life, but like little things like being able to go to the gym and lift a little bit more every time, or like learning new Spanish words and stuff like that. I mean, just that little bit of progression that you actually do have some control over. I feel like that is so valuable, not only for the skills that you're trying to adopt or, you know, improve on explicitly, but like just for the rest of your existence. Like you have that like self-efficacy sort of thing going on, where it's like, oh yeah, like I know that if applied, like that progress is possible. And I don't know, treasure those things where they actually show you the progress, because so many other things, it's so hard to, you know what you're doing. Linda. Oh, Linda's got to bounce, but we love Linda. Mary said, same with everyone. Journal party routine for the win. Yeah. My little light went out over here. That's how I know it's about that. I have my own like built-in what is it, like at the Oscars where they're like, hey, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Kathy said, reading, writing, and artistry stuff is how I get grounded. I get all the yucky stuff out, let the creativity flow, or escape in some fictional world as a great distraction. That's great. You know, there's something to that too. for the longest time, like, would only read nonfiction or like try to like use all of my free time to, be doing something, building something that like I've, I don't know, like some badge of honor about it or something like that. But like I, in the times where I do give myself permission to just like, jump into a great, novel, or, Alex got me this little like Game Boy thing for Christmas that has like all the old school games on it, because I can't play all the new ones. I don't know what's going on in any of them. I'm just not good at it. But like, I love those old school games, and like, just to like kind of like, get sucked into another human's creativity. I think maybe that's what it is. It's like just being maybe it's through osmosis. Like, you can kind of get a whiff of the greatness of others and stuff. So I don't know, whatever it is, I think it's cool.
Absolutely.
Melissa said, Mary, I feel that two people-y thing. Weirdly, I never feel that when I'm online like this, but I just don't want to physically be near anyone.
It's like that sometimes, for sure. I tend to get, depending on how many people I interact with throughout the day, I could come home and I just, even you, Alex, I can't.
Oh, I can tell.
I know. I'm just like, when I've, all that energy has been, I have to shut it down, and I can't talk, and I get so overstimulated and so overwhelmed, and I just need to be silent and left alone. And but it is different when it's online. Like, it's not, you're not, I don't know, I don't even know what it is, but
I think maybe the way presence works is different online. I mean, when someone's like in your space or in your face, like, that is it's intense. It's not even just the words or the body, like, it's just the whole, someone's being, like, in some ways it can be great. It can be a great effect that people can have on you. And other
also
times,
in person, I insist on being fully engaged and locked in and responsive, and and it's just like, again, by the end of the day, my social battery has completely drained.
Battery.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting.
We should,
Mary said, I need to work on my wind down routine. I can't stop the late night racing. Well, now creative thoughts, so rest feels like a rare commodity. Well, I mean, look, that's the whole point of all of this, is to go like, hey, this is what's going on. This is, maybe it's either how you'd like it to be and you do more of it, or you say, hey, this is something I would like to adjust. And, having given yourself the space to kind of pick it apart a little bit, like, you get to decide. So, I think ultimately, though, just be nice to yourself too. I mean, I think it's good to be hypercritical. It's good to be, brave and bold and like and honest with yourself. But, you also deserve grace, even just, for being the kind of person who would be willing to, check yourself a little bit, right? So I think that's a cool thing. And you're like Melissa. I've seen both of you guys move in towards the direction of the things that you want. And I think just the willingness, and then the follow through, it's something to be proud of, for sure. So whatever you decide, be nice to yourself about it.
Yes, be nice.
Kathy said, winding down is getting the kitchen in order, going through Forever Baby's routine, finding a calm movie. I love a calm movie. Checking my calendar and reading until my eyes get heavy. I just dropped my little pen thing here, but I was going to share. Yes, I love a good calming movie. Right when Alex and I first met, she was making fun of me because she was like, what did you do today? And I was like, well, I went and I saw Paddington by myself.
I thought it was so cute, but also, I just couldn't help but tease you a little. Just the idea of you going one afternoon.
It was Paddington
2. Yes, by yourself one afternoon. I thought, oh, that's cute.
Honestly, it's exactly what my heart needed that day. Great movie, by the way. But Yeah, I mean, it's good to know like what affects you, and those little things, some people like to get amped, sometimes I do, but sometimes it's like, all right, like, I mean, I'm sure my wife would love it if I really loved watching like horror movies and stuff like that, but I don't know, I get really affected by the stuff that I watch and listen to, and so like I'm like a little kid about it. Sometimes I just need something that's soothing, and yeah,
whatever works for you,
exactly. Well, and that's life, right? Figuring that out
and go with it.
Gabby rewinds myself down by 7. Okay, that's good. That's
good for
early.
you. 7 is, Alex knows. Also, I really struggle with turning my brain off and the racing thoughts. And there are times often where I am like rage cleaning at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And it, eventually it does calm me down. But sometimes I'm just like, I have this insane energy that just needs to be released. And this is how I do it, and again, I would love a different routine one day, but that's who I am.
It's funny too. The dog tells on you, and like he like appeals to me, like, can you do something about this? The vacuuming.
Like sometimes I just need to vacuum at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and he gives me this look, and he runs into your room, and he sits there and he looks at you like, are you gonna stop this? Like, or what are you gonna do about it?
He tells on you.
I know. No, I get it. It's annoying.
Melissa said, I've learned that I have to be the last one to go to bed, let the house be quiet around me for a little while so I can just putter and do my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get that. I just, and I used to be that way. I wasn't always an early bird. But, I like to be, I like that I actually love that Alex isn't up when I am, because it's like, okay, this is
we have our own our me times for sure.
Glenn said, stickers in my planner help summarize my day. A peaceful
that's
ending.
Wonderful.
Stickers, yeah.
I like that.
Cool. Surrey Cat said, my new routine, now that I no longer doom scroll, includes meditations, reading, and trying to shush my brain. Yeah. Well, you got to replace it with something. I mean, and, hopefully something good. And I love, well, I've got, a meditation practice that I lean on pretty heavily. But another thing that I've been getting into, they have like all sorts of really cool like guided visualizations on YouTube, and they'll have like the binaural beats or whatever, and it's just like it's like someone describing you going through like a garden or whatever, and it's just like, all right, like if I'm gonna get on someone else's ride, like let it be something something beautiful and creative, as opposed to like just the chaos that you just get bombarded with when you stare at your phone like that. But Suri said, I still have Facebook Messenger on my phone because, well, us old people keep in touch. I'm still on. I've been hearing that a lot lately, that like Facebook is like for old people now, and I'm like, I'm on Facebook all the time. All right, whatever. Kathy said, with my forever baby, majority of my life is routine based. Without a routine, my anxiety spikes. Yeah, well, it's a lot to have to. There, like, decision fatigue is real. That is a real thing. I'm sure I could find some research around it, but I remember learning about that in psych, and I forget what the number is, but like as human beings, like we make some absurd amount of decisions on a daily basis, and it you only have so many of those in the tank as well before you just start to get overwhelmed. And like, I mean, I stress out about it because I'm like, for me, I've got this like optimizer kind of personality, and when the unhealthy version of that though is like feeling like either like I need to be a perfectionist, or like I'm missing out on something if I, make the wrong decision, or if I choose wrong, like I can kind of like spin out about that. And what I love about like routine is like you can just kind of decide in advance, what is good for you, and what what's non-negotiable, and what will be helpful for you. And obviously life's not that predictable, right? Like you couldn't do your whole life that way, but you can create time to deal with things that are I know that like during certain hours, like certain things are likely to come up, right? I'm not going to get somebody, or no one's going to expect me to deal with them being pissed off about the app being broken or something like that at like 2 a.m, right? It's like, okay, create that window, but also knowing that is something that's going to like perturb me and throw me off, right? Or that it's something where I'm going to want to be, really intentional about the decisions that I'm making around, these sorts of demands. I think that's why, it's so important to me to have that, that primer of in my morning routine of just like, okay, like let me get all my bullshit out of the way. Let me, journal and prime my creativity. Let me, do my meditation and, get right with, my state of being and how I, orient myself spiritually. And then like when I'm good about that, or especially, I kicked it out of my routine, but I got to bring it back. Like when I, get my blood flowing with exercise, it's like, okay, I'm way less likely to make the bad decisions, or to, do what I would be, what makes those, having to make those decisions stressful in the first place. So, it's good. All of these things, they can support you. And the other thing is like, hey, like you get more than one at bat. So, I would be, I'm pretty sure you all know I would be a tremendous liar if I tried to claim, 100% success rate on any of my routines or anything like that. I think that's not human, but, it's there is something to the intentionality behind it, and hey, like of all the decisions, like decide to show up for yourself, like decide to give yourself the gift of a really good routine, I think is a good idea. So he said, yes, it's like 60,000 thoughts and 35,000 decisions a day.
No.
It's crazy. And then you think about how many times you look at your phone a day, right? And stuff
no,
like
thank
that.
you.
Right?
I would not like to think about that.
I mean, I just think about like the agency that we've given away in our own lives. I mean, because before all of that, like you were way less prone to being, pulled out of your own, context and, and clarity and all that. And it's like, it's just mind blowing. Well, I was going to say it's mind blowing that like we're okay as a society. And actually, as I was saying that, I'm like, I don't know that this is okay. Like, it's not, I don't think we were built for that. Mary said, new goal for the accountability board, pick one new habit to establish a solid night routine.
That's great, Mary. Yeah.
Like that one a lot. You know what I want to add to the night routine? I had this going for a little while, like some non-caffeinated tea, like relaxing tea at night, like a book. Yeah. That's NPR.
Yes.
And we're going to have a nice cup of chamomile, little jasmine. Sorry. That's a good bit. Kathy says, I have backup plans for my backup plans. I'm with you on that. God forbid I make a mistake. People know that I'm human. I'm learning to step back a bit more now to leave room for spontaneity. Yeah.
Good. You deserve that, Kathy.
Totally. And I love spontaneity that too. I mean, as much as I'm a planner and I try to optimize and get everything right, like when I don't have like the novel experiences happening in my life and like, a little bit of whimsy, right? You were talking about that, Alex. It's all of these things, they can enrich our lives, and they're all just ingredients. And you get to decide, I think, how you bake the cake though, those ingredients, and that's a really cool thing. And
Yeah.
on that note, I would like to thank you all for being part of this cake that we're baking, and for sharing your cake. Getting pretty deep on this metaphor here.
Yeah.
But I, bottom of my heart, love you guys. Really appreciate you
Absolutely.
showing up once again, examining your routines. I hope that this leads you to happier, healthier days, and keep in touch. Let us know what works for you. Let us know in the group, wherever you engage with us, what works for you, so we can all learn from each other. And I think again, the collective wisdom of this group, it always puts me in a better place.
Absolutely.
So this is one of my favorite routines, getting on here with you all every week, and so looking forward to doing it again. I think Alex might be writing the next program. If you want to debut your whimsy one, or actually, she just wrote a really good spring cleaning program that we could maybe do. So maybe we get some girl Alex prompts up there for you. And the other housekeeping stuff I mentioned, we've got a new 24/7 Journal Party live streaming channel. So, there's always a chat and some good music and tunes and stuff to journal. And, hopefully as we grow, there'll be more people hanging out in the chat with you to journal through life together. And, the new app is out. So if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check it out. We've got a ton of new programs popping into there, and all sorts of new stuff from the Mental Health Advisory Board as that grows, and as we start to submit some of our more mental health adjacent, I like to say that, mental health adjacent type of programs. Got some really good stuff in the pipeline. We're going to be heading back down to San Diego next month, and for probably doing that once a month for the next couple months. Alex, you had something you wanted to say?
Oh, no, I was going to say, Mary had asked a question. I wanted you to go ahead and answer that if you can.
Let's see. Is the app ready to build on? I have an author event. Yeah, definitely give it a shot. So if you have a premium membership on the account, which I believe you do, Mary, I'll make sure you get access to that. You are actually able to create your own programs. And so the way that you do it is you can either go onto the programs page, and on a desktop, you'll see a little thing that says create a program. Or if you're on your mobile app, you can do it. There's on the bottom nav, right in the middle, there's a little plus sign. It's a create button. And that will open up a wizard to create your own prompted programs, and you can set your own thumbnail, put as many prompts as you want, and set the timers for each of those prompts. And then it lives in your profile. Well, you can either make it public and have it be visible on your profile, and so you guys can actually follow each other and share programs, and take the programs that your fellow party people have made if you select to make it public. And there's also an option to make it private and link only. So if it was something like, you got a private group or something, you can just share the link with them and they'll have access, and they won't need a paid account on Journal Party to do it. Any of the programs that you create, you just need the free account, and then they'll be able to access all of that. And even if you wanted to sell a program that you made, I don't know if anyone's doing that out there, but I know we've got a lot of creators and really creative people in this community, entrepreneurs and things like that. And so I don't care. I built this for all of us. So, if you want to, make a program, make it private and sell access to it, to the link or whatever, be my guest. And if that's something that, we see people doing, I can, build more tools and stuff to support that. But I think right now we're just kind of exploring what the possibilities are. But one of the new possibilities is for sure being able to create your own prompted programs. So I hope you have fun with that. And of course, Mary, if you happen to do that and you run into any trouble, just shoot me an email. We need to fully test all of that creator type of stuff. So if anything's weird, let me know and we'll squash those bugs for you.
And best of luck at your author event. That's amazing.
Yeah, super cool.
Thank you, Mary. You're the best.
Awesome. All right, party people. Well, hope your routines carry you well into the rest of the week and your weekend. And we'll see you next week, as always.